Joining me now to discuss it all is Senior Fellow at National Security Institute and Board Member at Special Operations Association of America, Andrew Borene. Thank you so much for coming back on the program. Always great to have you here.
Always great to be with you, Laura.
All right, so let's talk about how dangerous these clashes are for this fragile ceasefire, because nobody wants to see this thing spiral out.
No, absolutely not. And I think, from an analytical perspective, we're seeing phase one was a success. We achieved a ceasefire, a lot of U.S. pressure on both sides, a lot of Arab ally pressure on both sides. And I think right now, it was anticipated that there would be some kind of recidivist actors that were seeking to inflame tensions. Iranian-backed proxy groups, certainly like Hamas, will seek to commit terrorist attacks. U.S. State Department is warning it. That was not an unforeseen possibility. The Israeli Defense Force undoubtedly wants to preserve the lives of its troops in the region. Egypt wants to see the Rafah crossing open for a massive surge of humanitarian aid is needed. There is no question mass starvation issues, famine issues, people that need to get to safety and be fed and housed. So it's a very delicate situation, but as an analyst, I would say there is still room for hope because these are not unforeseen events. These are things that have probably been planned for, and you see it with the Vice President and Stephen Witkoff and Jared Kushner scheduled to be in the region on Tuesday. So there's some more on that on kind of a technical basis and a big change from how we did counterinsurgency and counterterrorism in the past. But I think on the whole, I would not say hope is dead. I would say that there absolutely are violent actors in that region, and it's hard to get combatants to stop fighting.
And on that Rafah crossing, is it to be expected that it would be open, then it would be closed, then it would be open? Because we had some back and forth on that just this weekend.
Right, and as I understand it, part of the issue is that Hamas has not repatriated deceased hostage remains.
Right.
And they have not agreed to full disarmament. And those were kind of non-starters going all the way back to October 7th, October 8th. And so it makes a very difficult situation. And I think continued pressure will be needed to get Hamas to accede to a peace that Israel can accept under what its demands are.
All right. So President Trump spoke this morning about the timeline for Hamas disarming in the next phase. Let's listen.
Not a timeline, not a hard line, but we're going to see how it all works out. So it's not a hard timeline, but it's a line in my own mind. And at a certain point, if they don't do what they're supposed to do, then we'll have to do it for them.
All of this on the Gaza ceasefire. So, what is it realistic to expect Hamas to completely disarm at this point? Because, you look at who you're dealing with and the actors that are involved here.
Well, let's look at it from the perspective of the United States, whatever party people are in, and the perspective of our European allies and our Middle Eastern allies, whatever parties they're in. Hamas is a terrorist group. It has been a terrorist group and has been identified as a terrorist group for decades. In my personal assessment, they never should have been given control of an administrative region as a terrorist group. We can't undo the past, but looking forward, I do think it's important, and it will succeed if there is allied unity. If the Arab allies can stay consistent and continue to put that pressure on Hamas and Iran not to re-engage in terrorist activity, to fully disarm Hamas, and there is definitely a negotiating needle to be threaded where what does future governance look like in Gaza? And it's better if there's not shooting while those conversations are happening.
Absolutely. And now we've got Vice President Vance heading to Israel, and you just mentioned that to talk about this next phase of the ceasefire. So when we're talking about the violations and the accusations that are going on right now, and you said that there's some tactical parts to this. So if you could expand on that or tell us a little bit about what you foresee happening.
Yeah, I mean, I think what we might observe is, I'm on the outside looking in, but in the past, the last 20 years of warfare for the United States and our allies was kind of built on this ink blot strategy that you put troops in a place and you expand out physical control with infantry units and patrols and establishing security zones. I think there is an opportunity here based on events in Ukraine and how warfare has evolved in Gaza with infantry units, that there may be kind of a push toward, can some of this be done with advanced sensors systems? Can some of this be done with logistics that see an open supply lane and don't put troops at risk, but can then deliver aid using some pretty advanced technology that really only the U.S. and its allies are capable of doing?
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.